he doesn't feel too well. He apologizes, and we'll accept his apology. I know things happen, especially when you have children. They at times, you don't call the shots when they get sick. So I've been on both sides of the fence, being a child and being raised by my mom and dad and grandma and grandpa, and you get sick, it throws a curve in their activities. And now I'm an adult, and I had children and grandchildren, so it's flexibility time when that comes around. So I think I understand where he's coming from. Um, the agenda. We'll take out number 3, which is Dustin's PD, but he says he'll make it up next week, or not next week, but next month. Um, the Navajo government class. I'm not so sure if Clayton is on right now. Clayton, are you on? If not, we'll go through the other parts of the agenda. Okay, I guess he is not on either. Um, the Urban Indian Center, I know that Penelope indicated that she would be here to give us an update from the Urban Indian Center. Okay, maybe she's not on
And
either.
Harold.
Okay, yeah.
Um, oh, um, she is in another meeting, but I'm pretty sure as soon as she gets out, then she'll come and give an update from our center.
Yeah. Okay.
Um, the only thing I could say for my part with
Okay.
being the family programs coordinator is just that we're continuing with our youth culture classes.
Hmm.
And I'm not sure if you're all familiar with Corey Reeder. His parents are Shirley Reeder, and his father's the late James Reeder. But he's
Hmm.
going to come in next Tuesday and just give a brief uh, uh, presentation regarding how he made healthy choices with like eating, working out, how it pertains and helps him with his fancy dancing that he
Okay.
does at powwows. But other than that, that's what I
Okay.
have, and we just have Girls on the Run that's going to start.
Okay. Okay. Well, I think we're going to go visit that again once we get our culture reverence in place. And what I'll do is I'll do an update with the information that we have from my office, and we'll adjourn until next month, April the 18th. So I asked Brooklyn from the Box Elder School District, and she's new to the program too, to Title VI as a coordinator up there, and I asked her to do the cultural reverence, and so I'll just turn the time over to her, and after that, we'll get started with other things on the agenda. Okay, go ahead, Brooklyn.
All right. Hello, all. My name, like he said, is Brooklyn Timbimbu. This is my first year working for Boxer School District as the Title VI coordinator, and I just kind of wanted to give you guys kind of a brief introduction of me and who I am. I am a member of the Northwestern Band of Shoshone Nation, which is our Aboriginal area is going to be northern Utah, some of western Idaho, and Wyoming. And I am also studying social work at Utah State, and I will graduate this spring. And I'm applying to the University of Kentucky to get my master's in social work. So that's something that I am super passionate about. And I was able to kind of use this program and align it with like what I'm passionate about, and kind of bringing that mental health aspect into it as well. So that's just a little bit about me. I am going to read a piece. It's called By the Keepers of the Treasures. Um, this is what the book looks like if you guys are curious. But yeah, I'm just going to read a small piece of it. It's protecting historic properties and culture traditions on Indian lands. So, findings and recommendations. American Indian tribes have a common goal the retention, preservation, and enhancement of the cultural heritage. Over the last 500 years, Indian cultures have experienced massive destruction, but the tide is changing. Indian tribes are using their limited resources to halt the loss of language, tradition, religion, objects, and sites. Halting the loss is not enough. However, Indian tribes are living cultures, fundamentally different in character from other components of American society. That one continue and to be strengthened only through the perpetuation of their traditions. Tribes, therefore, are reintroducing ceremonies, teaching languages, and seeking the return and culturally appropriate treatments of tribal objects and the remains of their ancestors. These activities are not peripheral to tribal life, they are basic to the healthy contemporary tribal societies. From tribal perspective, the keepers of the treasures hold not only the keys to the tribal past, but the keys to the tribal future. The retention, preservation, and enhancement of the culture heritage of American Indian tribes require adequate and stable funding from multiple sources. As important, however, is the development of comprehensive policy within which financial and technical assistance can be provided to tribes in a manner that respects and reinforces tribal values. And there's that piece. I love that because I think this program and I think our efforts is essential to preservation of tribes and just culture. And so I think that's just super important. I don't think it's an option to preserve our land. It's just in who we are and what we are. So yeah, that I really liked that piece. I also just kind of wanted to introduce box breathing, just the social work in me. I think this is something that can be really resourceful for anyone. And I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it. It's known as either square or box breathing. It's a visualization that helps breathe and guide your breath and just kind of maintain that focus. So this technique is going to involve tracing the shape of a square box with each side representing your breath. So what you'll do is you'll inhale for 4 seconds and imagine like moving up one side of a square as you slowly breathe through your nose. You'll hold that breath for 4 seconds going along the other side of the square and keeping that breath just in. Exhaling for 4 seconds, visualizing moving down that other side of the square and slowly breathing out through your mouth. And then going along the bottom and holding your breath again. So I did want you guys to kind of just try that out. I know it's almost funny how simple it is, but I think the visualization and just kind of keeps you more, it's more of a mindful exercise and it encourages just to be present in the moment and just bring awareness to your body and connecting the mind and body. So if you guys just want to try it with me, I typically close my eyes. You guys don't have to. I think closing your eyes helps me visualize better. So what you'll do is you'll just inhale for 4 seconds. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. And yeah, so typically you'll do that around 4 times. That's kind of the exercise, super simple, but I hope that's something that you guys can use in your day-to-day. It's parasympathetic, so it's going to help with the nervous system, which promotes just relaxation, and reduces your body's fight or flight response, and just lowers stress and anxiety. So there's that, and then that's the end of my little thing I have.
Okay, thank you, Brooklyn. I think that's a very good word of advice, especially the last month that we go through. Everybody's really, at a point they're stressed and they're at the end of the rope and they're excited that school might be out and so I think that's a good time. And I think there's times that during the season too that really uh the stress level all of a sudden it just kind of it raises its head and I think this is a good opportunity that to do this and it's I guess they sometimes they call this is this mindfulness exercise.
Yeah, just a mindfulness exercise. That's exactly what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Before COVID, this is just something before COVID hit at USBE, the building where I work, we used to have that exercise. So we go to a room, every morning, then we just go through that 2 or 3 minutes, then everybody leaves. And, throughout the whole day, you feel a little more apt to, a little bit more cognizant about your surroundings and, you feel refreshed and, but it doesn't happen once, you gotta kind of practice this. That's what we learned. I mean, there was a guy that came in, this is what he does for a living, and he showed that, and position on the floor, and in a chair, and some of the people says, "Can we lay down on the floor?" So, well, anyway, that's beside the point. So, hey, thank you, Brooklyn. That was very good. I think that it gives me an opportunity to go back to something that I learned at the beginning of this year or before COVID at that time. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Let me apologize for Dustin. He's not going to be here today. I just got a text from him. He says he can't speak. He does have something prepared, but he says that his voice is shot, so we won't have a professional development today, but I like to go through the other parts of the agenda. And I don't know if Clayton is on. I'd like to have an update from Clayton with his classes. I had a visit with the Granite School District yesterday in terms of their site visit, and one of the pieces that we talked about was the grade and how that whole thing's going to flow. I know that other school districts are they host their language class and they take care of their own grades in their school district. So is Clayton on?
Yeah, I
Okay,
am.
there he
Yeah,
is. Okay, can you give us an update on that? And like I said before, I had an opportunity to talk with Granite School District, and they're awaiting your class enrollment for the Navajo class and the recommendation of a grade, and they'll get out the letters. And I know that other school districts they do their own. And the other piece is the government class. If you can
right.
update us on that and what you have planned for that, and I like to make that as smooth as possible for those people who are their students taking the classes.
Very good. Very good. Yeah, Arnold. So thank you very much for allowing me to share. I know, yeah, I love the kids that are on there. We're actually growing. I mean, we're not, I think I started off with maybe 30 years back, but today we're up in the 70s, meaning each Navajo language class, each government class. We do have Navajo too. We offer to those kids that are interested in more language. And so though that one is smaller, but I have enough there to have them learn together. Okay, so Granite School District, yeah, thank you very much for taking the responsibility, taking us under your wings to share what I do to give the grades of the Navajo one and then Navajo governments, and then from there they are able to share with all the school districts throughout the state of Utah, and then to have each of the schools take the grades and put it onto the transcripts of the students. Yeah. And so that's kind of how it works. Been working like that for a long time. And we're we most of the time it works really well. Every once in a while there's a little thing that happens, but we can figure that out. It seems to always work out. As you know, or as you might not know, there's actually a lot of more kids than just the state of Utah that are wanting to be a part of our class. It all depends on the state structure, the state folks that want to make this thing work in their schools. It would be wonderful to have another school district in a certain state. If there's a whole bunch of Navajo children, they can do the same thing that we're doing with instructors. The ones that are nearby, Nevada, Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, depending on how they work, some of them work individually, meaning they just work with me school by school. That if it works for them, it works for me. So it all depends. When there's a changeover of staff, then we kind of start back at ground zero, meaning figure out how and why and all that to make this work. But I know there's a lot of kids outside the reservation that would love to have this class, and in a lot of ways, we're blessed to have somebody that can take on those that are in the state of Utah. And we do have language teachers. I mean, San Juan School District, each grade has a language class, a class where they learn Navajo every single day. So it does depend on the school district, how they want to set it up. And you can actually do it within your school. If there's a school that has more Navajo students, and if there's a way to do that, I think it can be done too. And you can do it through Zoom, but you can also do it through just being there, present. So for me, I've done both. I've actually driven up to a school district where we brought everybody together on a Saturday, and we just went through the whole course in one day. It's just 8 hours. So that's a possibility. You can do stuff like that, or you can just do the way I do it, and that's just show up at a certain school and just have the students come and be part of that. So there's all different kinds of ways of doing that. I know Richfield dorms, the Richfield students, so I have about 12 or 15 of them. They just come together after school, since they have a place to go, meaning a home to go to, the dorms. They have a classroom set up over there. And so I used to drive over there and then teach her a class on a Saturday or something. But since COVID hit, it kind of switched. And so they just come online as a group, as like a 15 kids or something. But that works if you have a language facilitator at that spot, because it really helps out to have somebody there to just kind of make sure that all the students that need to take it are in that class. And then I just communicate with that facilitator, and it just seems to go really smooth that way. Anyway, just to give you a little picture of how I do it. Yes, we finished Navajo 1, which started about around September, usually right after, first Tuesday after, what did they call it? Labor Day. Is that Labor Day? I can't remember. Anyway, we start from there, September, all the way, every Tuesday, once a week, all the way till the end of February. And the reason why we do that is we just make sure that the hours of what you call seat time, and so that one's a little bit longer. We offer a 1 credit hour for that class, whereas the Navajo history and government class is a half credit hour. For that reason, we don't need to go as long as the Navajo one. So we usually offer that as soon as February is over, and then we just use March and April as a time in which we can put in that Navajo history and government class. Yeah. So that's what's going on right now. We just met the second time this last Tuesday. The third time will come this next Tuesday. And the kids are pretty much into it already. I'll allow them to text me. I allow them to email me. This is if they miss a class on Tuesday, for whatever reason, they might have sports, they might have other things that they need to get done. As long as they have access to the recordings, you can get the whole recording, meaning the recording of the class time, which is about an hour and a half. But usually I try to say, let me shorten it. So I might have a 5-minute clip that says, here's the assignment, here's what you need to do, and let's do it. And so that's a good thing. So anyway, Navajo government is going on right now. We have close to 70 plus students, and time is a little bit of a crunch, meaning yes, we have things to learn, but then I want them to participate by having them do a slide presentation, and they can do it as a group. They can. I don't want them to do it more than 5 or 4 or 5. It's when I say group, I'm talking about 2 or 3 or maybe 4. And usually it works really well with folks that are already in a group setting like Richfield, and they can do a team of 4 or something like that, and they can present that way. But for those that are doing it from home or somewhere else by themselves, they get a chance to do the slide, and they just have to plug themselves into a day. And right now we just finished activity 1. It's a slide presentation that it's not like you have to do 10-minute. We just stay within about 5 minutes or so, and and just get a taste of things that they can do. Also, we're already starting activity 2, which is dealing with the long walk. And we have an activity there that they do slides on too. So I did a small clip on that one. And for those that have finished presenting the first time, meaning activity 1, if they're done with that, they can go right into the next set of activities, and also the activity 2, which is doing the slides. So that's kind of where we are. As far as I know, those that are desiring to get it done, they're getting it done. Right now I got an email full of folks that want to present this coming Tuesday. So we try to end right around 5:30, but if the presentations are still needing to be done, I allow them to go until maybe 6 o'clock. So gives us a half an hour to finish up all those presentations. And I know maybe at 5:30 some of them need to go, but that's okay. It's on record, so that's good. Other than that, does anybody have any questions? Died kid.
No, I
Okay.
just, I just like to make a comment on that. I've sat in a couple of your sessions with language and government this past week, and I think those students are, they're very, very sharp.
Yeah.
When they do their presentations. I saw the one with the presentations. They're not, they're very confident. They know, it's been well researched, and explained very, very clearly and very well. I was quite impressed with that. And now with the Navajo language class, it was, you know, I, I understand where they're coming from. Sometimes it's not clear what they say, but their intention they want to.
Yeah.
They're willing, and I think
Yeah.
with a little bit of practice, because some of them, they've never spoken Navajo ever,
That's right.
and this is the
That's
first
right.
time, and so it's fun to see that too. So I'm glad.
Yeah.
So that's just my comment.
It's interesting how things change. Back in the 70s, everybody in the class knew the language, and we just talked in Navajo all the time. Even
Uh,
the regular class, since I was teaching grade school, like fifth graders, we just talked Navajo all day long. It didn't matter what subject. We just talked all day long on that. But I did teach them how to read and write a story. So they presented their story in the language, and that was really fun for them. But now today, very, very rarely do some of these students that are outside the reservation get a chance to listen or hear the language.
yeah,
And so for that reason, I think the strength for them is let's learn how to read and write it. And once we learn how to read and write it, they can actually read a booklet that they might find in Navajo and just have them read it to somebody that's already speaking the language, like their grandparents or some,
yeah.
and just see the reaction of the grandparents, Yeah, that's what I find fascinating is the kids are willing to do something like that. And I also say, if you really want to learn the language, teach it. Okay. And the reason why that is because you're going over and over and over. Our teachers do that. They go over and over and over and over the content that they're supposed to present. And once they present it, they're experts at it. And so they can do the same thing with this little package that we have, that presentation that they do in the language. And so if they miss a class, all that means is listen to, and then present it the way we present it. And they report back. They report back and say, I taught it to my brother or sister or grandma, and they feel like almost like a confidence that they feel. Anyway, I think the kids are really, those that are signed up and are there all the time, they love what we're doing. I think that's what's going on. If you have any questions outside that you couldn't answer at this time, just email me. Email me, Clayton Naz at gmail.com. And you can text me or my phone, 801-232-5624. And you can just text me or just call me. And parents do the same thing. The other interesting thing about this is I allow elders or parents or somebody just want to listen and they just listen and they don't need to participate like the students do, but they can just be there and they enjoy that. So that's kind of nice. So it all goes back to our culture. And when we get together, we get together. It's not like oh, this is only for second graders or third graders. No, when we do a ceremony or something, we say everybody comes. Everybody is a helper of somebody that's going to be healed. And it's not like going to a doctor. Only the doctor has the final say and stuff. No, we all participate. We all somehow participate. We might not be singers, but we can be food crew or chop the wood or whatever. But we're all there, and we all do it for somebody that needs help. Anyway, that's the same approach that I have. I would like to put a lot more cultural ideas of how to do things. Our latest thing is listen, just keep listening. Your eyes and your ears are actually the way for you to learn this language faster and better. And so anyway, we'll go on. Our last class of Navajo government will be the end of April, and the last Tuesday. Let's see, what is that? Last Tuesday is April 29th is our last day. And the reason why is April, we want to finish by April is because May is our seniors need to prepare themselves to graduate. And so if we can get the grades to Granite School District before, just during that last week, they can put it on a transcript before graduation. All right.
All right, thank you. Thank you for the update, Clayton. I think that's very, very good in terms of good information. The next is let's see here, I think I have it here. You guys see that? Do you guys see the document on the affirmation for a tribal consultation?
Yeah.
Okay. Now,
Yep.
that's the next item, is that this we have this consultation for those school districts who meet that criteria. You know, the criteria is that the sites receive more than $40,000 annually. And when they meet that criteria, it was highly recommended that you have a tribal consultation with a local tribe. And this applies to your formula grant application part 2. And this is the information that we have. We kind of modified this information from last year. This is the format. And for those school districts who meet this is the document that we're going to use. For those school districts that don't receive that $40,000, you know, this is just a FYI. But I know that there are a couple school districts that don't meet the criteria, the threshold of 40,000, but they still like to have consultation with the local tribe, and Tooele School District is one of those school districts that like to do that. But this is the criteria, or this is the affirmation paper that we use, document. And all of these are, and Madeline's going to go through some of the information here, specific information. What I'm going to do is just give you the look of the format. This information up on top should be filled out by the school district. Actually, you probably need to fill out this information too with the tribe that you're going to have consultation with. But you know, sometimes the tribe would like to fill that out, but I think that's an option. But your part is very important up on top. And this is basically some of the information, background information that leads to that. Now, the second part to this is that this is information that uh, it's in your ESSA plan, and you see that the ESSA plan has all this information here. And if you go through your the ESSA plan that was sent out at the beginning of the year, and this is the information that you're going to convey to the tribe. And from the experience I've had last year with this consultation, all the school districts marked these boxes because they covered all those areas. So you can mark those, and you'll have this information here that's signed by you and the date, because this is all it's, you can sign this now. Like if I was to do that, it looks something like that. And then today's date is see that goes it's really nice that you can fill this out, and Madeline's going to go over how this is going to happen after you sign all the information that you needed to sign on here, and how that's all going to work out. So I think all this is going to work out. Now, number two is that once you have this information sent out for those school districts that you are having the consultation with, you'll send it to that tribe, who's a representative from that tribe that is going to arrange that consultation with you. Let me give you an example with those school districts in the area in this valley. We have our consultation with the Goshute tribe. So those school districts in this valley, they'll sign this, they'll fill out this information, and maybe Charlene Charlene Pete from the Goshute tribe would fill out this information, and you fill everything else out, and you'll send it to her. After the consultation, what she'll do is she'll sign this information here. And once she signs that, and this is the way she's going to sign that. And when she signs that, she'll sign it like this. And after this is signed, she'll send a copy to you, and she'll send a copy to me. Now, I know that with your part 2 of your formula grant, it indicates that the consultation information that you had, and again, that's just basically a requirement for those who meet that threshold. Okay. Up to this point, are there any questions before Madeline goes a little bit more into the detail of that? Okay, Madeline, do you want to talk a little bit more about the specifics?
Yeah. Chuck, if you'll stop sharing, I just want to show a difference in how you open the document.
Okay, should I stop sharing?
Yes, that way I can start sharing on my
Okay.
screen.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
So the way that Chuck opened his, he did not save it to his computer. So it opened using like the link, and it went to the web page, a web link for it. That's going to show a little differently. Like Chuck said, you just click on the boxes. All of these are fillable boxes. And then all these little ones are check mark boxes, including all of these smaller boxes here. But you want to make sure that you download the document to your computer, because as Chuck was filling in, you print your name here at the LEA. When you do your date, it'll do a drop down, so you can just click on the date. So you can just click there, automatically does it. But for signing, it would come up with something similar to this. And you can configure. Sometimes you're able to just do your own signature as well. Apologies. One thing to be aware of is typically once you have signed here, it's harder for you to change anything that you put in these boxes above. So if you're needing to send it to your tribe or organization that you are doing the consultation with, and they need to fill out this information, I would recommend filling out these two boxes, their print name and date, and waiting until they send it back with their information in their signature area and in the information above before you sign. Because a lot of the times once you've signed here, at least you have one signature, you're not able to change anything up above. Sometimes it doesn't work that way and you're able to do it and they can still edit it. But just as a precaution, if that does happen, you would just your signature and resend that document to the tribe so that they can input their information. Or if they sent the information to you, just put it in before you sign. But that's really all that I have regarding that. But if there's any issues with the document while you're going through this, you're more than welcome to email me or call me, and I'll see what we can do, see if there's something we can work around to get it to work correctly, as I know that there are some issues that pop up that are not typical. Are there any questions regarding this?
I think this is going to be learned by doing. I had a, I'm not computer savvy, and I had a challenge, so I finally figured it out. So, but anyway, if you need help with that, I think it makes things a whole lot easier. Everything's it's electronic, and so it's even the signing, it's electronic, and so it's once you get the idea of how to do that, it's much easier, and it's much smoother and stuff. So, are there any questions? If not, let's go on. I have a couple more items here that are important.
Hey, Dr. Foster, could I jump in real quick?
Sure.
So the tribal consultation form, I don't know how many coordinators we have who might be a little bit newer to the process or who are jumping in for the first time, but we don't do the explanation. That's what the presentation's about, right? So this is more or less just filling out a document, correct?
Yeah, you've got two parts to this. You fill out the document, and the second part is that you make that presentation. The presentation is that what you have, like you did last year, you had slides, and last year we had this document, but it was all paper pencil.
Yeah.
But this year it's electronic. And the other piece is your part is that you put a slideshow together. Now, when you do the consultation, it's basically you're showcasing your program.
Yeah, but that's not what the document's about. The document is just you checking the box that you
Yes.
do these things. Well,
Right.
if we have new people here, I just wanted to say that it's not as hard as you're thinking it is. Like on raise academic achievement, there's so many things that we might do to raise academic achievement that you just have to think of what your program is doing. Like if you have mentors that meet with your students or that check on your students, or if you just check your students' grades, if you're the one who does that, you can check that box because you're working on their academic achievement with grade checks. So, I mean, a lot of what you do can be used to fulfill the requirements of each piece here. So you just think about what you do as a coordinator, you're probably doing, I would guess, a lot of these things. And it's not like if you're not doing some of them that the tribe is going to throw you out. So please, if you're new, please don't be afraid of this process. And that's all I really wanted to say.
Yeah. Well, I think last year, the few years past, it's everybody did a very good job. It was outstanding. They showcased their program. They use the PowerPoint and they fill out the paper. There's a paper pencil. This is it. We just follow that same format. And now this is only for those the absolute. Now, for those other school districts, if they like to have that consultation, let me know and I can arrange that for you guys.
Well, and
Now,
I always
with
direct people to Sarai if they have big questions, about
yeah,
things, or they're really struggling with something. I send them straight to Sarai. That's usually
Well,
my.
Matthew is the know-it-all, so
Well, in that I know your name, I know all I need to. That's
yeah,
yeah,
I
don't
know
send
that.
him my way.
Yeah, I know that Sarai, you do with the Shoshone tribe, and I think Eddie and Mike down in Washington and Iron County, they do their consultation with the Paiute tribe. So it's it's the local tribe that you're wanting that consultation with. So anyway, if you do have questions on that, let me know. And the second part to this is just this is basically just an awareness. You guys see this? It's the formula grant part one and part two. Just be cognizant of the dates of when those dates are there. I think I think everybody's finished the part one. Now you're into the part two, and this consultation will fit into the part two where you mark that box and all the other information that you have necessary in terms of numbers and all that logistic stuff is in part two. So just kind of be aware of the dates. I think we have a very, very good track record in Utah that we've met the due dates on all our applications thus far. So I like to keep that clean also. So just be cognizant of that. Um, and this is basically just a reminder of the graduation that HB 30. Just kind of be aware of that. You might want to pull that out and then share that with your supervisors or the district leadership, because we don't want to get caught in that regalia issue again. I think we had one incident last year, and the year before that I think there was one incident. So there's at least one incident the last 2 years. And I think the more they know about the HB 30, it makes things a whole lot easier. So just kind of be cognizant and pull that out and review that. Um, other than that, I don't have anything else. Is Penelope from the Indian Walk-in Center here? If not, we'll adjourn for today. And again, for those people who are coming on late, go ahead, Clayton.
Yeah, I was just thinking about current situation. I as coordinators and overseers of or tribal folks throughout the state. I mean, we have a new president, and he's doing a lot of things to chop down things that has to do with federal programs and things like that. Back when one of the presidents at that time, he did the same thing. He cut federal programs, and one of the programs that was cut was our Intermountain schools. Intermountain was first, it was Navajo, and then it went to tribal. So we had a lot of other tribes coming into the school, and for whatever reason, that school did not get funded, and for that reason, it was shut down. And this might be a good review uh, from our presenter that was going to present, um, Dustin. Dustin, he might be a good one to just review for us what could happen, or how is it that we're still strong, and will the state take over where the federal can't take over, and what is and I think it all has to do with relations. How good are we in relations with local government, local tribal leaders, local families? The more we're kind of like have strong relations, the faster we can say, let's do this, or let's think about this. I think Dustin might be a good one to have us
Right.
hear some things, current stuff.
Okay.
That's it. Thanks.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Clayton. Let me just give you the update on that from the Indian country part. And with USBE and all the other educational programs in the United States, they're coming from all directions in terms of lawyering up. That everybody has lawyers now, so this is going to be something of as a fight, if you will. One, you have to understand that the Department of Education, it's a legislative action, which means that it has to go through Congress before they could do anything else very, very drastic. And what they're doing is they're violating that law right now of taking the education programs apart. But with the Indian country part is that the National Congress of American Indians, they're pretty much involved in this whole process because they understand that at a national level, it affects all Indian ed programs. That includes JOM, Title VI programs, Impact Aid, and some of the programs like preschool, the WIC programs, Women Indian, Infant and Children programs, and another program is a STAR program, which is those uh, programs for the infants, before during pregnancy. Those programs there are being, I guess, protected by the writing and being lawyered up by the National Congress of American Indians. And another organization that's pretty much involved in this is the National Indian Education Association. They've had a few concerns about that too, and so they have a very, very strong opinion that to keep these programs in place. And the third is the Senate for Indian Affairs at the national level. Uh, they have a group there. It's a committee. That committee is made up of 7 individuals, and they're Congress people, both sides of the aisle. And they took a stand on that too. So this is from the Indian country part. That's where we're we're fighting along the way. So everybody's, like I said, everybody's being lawyered up, and this is probably going to end up in a court case. As far as duration now, I don't think anything's going to happen the rest of this year, other than, they're going to have a lot of writing. There's going to be a lot of news clips. There's going to be a lot of media attention, especially with the educational arm, because not only does that affect the Indian country, but it affects all other programs across the United States, across all educational programs in each state. And but if you stay in tune with information like this, you kind of understand where um, the issue is going to be carried on to the next level, if you will. It's going to end up in those court case somewhere. But that's the only thing I know. Now, as far as USBE, they'll have information that comes out and it goes through the superintendent's office and it comes down to all the departments. And that information, is disseminated among the whole state. So that's basically what I know. Before we adjourn, are there any questions? Before I depart with some parting words. Well, I appreciate you guys again. I'd like to apologize for not Clayton, but I apologize for Dustin. His voice is gone. He's pretty much sick today. So he apologized 3 times. I got 3 email or the text messages from him already. So he's going to apologize for that, for being sick. I said, don't worry about it. It happens. Other than that, I thank you guys for your attendance and the last part to this whole information today is, to adjourn. And if anybody has any departing words, I appreciate that. If not, we'll see you on April the 18th next month. Okay. No one, the rest of you guys or the people, have a good day and we'll see you when we see you. Bye.